Overall, though, great war. That was fun. Real fun war. I enjoyed every ounce of it. Hey, I mean, the fighting up near here in Gianna, that was boring. At least in my opinion, it was, because it was just like a run-around fight. I mean, Portugal lost even more land, so that makes me satisfied. I didn't think I'd get away with so little war score in terms of taking Guyana. Oh god, I'm stretching. I thought that was gonna be. I thought that would cost a lot more war score than what it did, but nonetheless, was fun. All right, I need to build another one. It's in build another one in Mao. Oh, the Americans, how I love them. How many Mexicans are up here? Is this strictly Mexican now? That's funny. Prestige made us #1, though. That's pretty good. As for you guys, go ahead and head back down here. If I could, I'd like to build 10 more battleships, 22 more cruisers. Let's see if we can get those done in time. I doubt it. I think it's going to take too long, but I'd like to get it done. Okay, that's not good at all. I'm going to cancel anything over here. You guys are going to retreat east. Go over here, pick up our boys real quick. I got to send them in. Where did they run to? Where did those guys go to? Huh. I mean, I'm not going to argue. They just disappeared. Can I get away with, like, no taxes for the rest of the game? Excellent. To rebuild the Africa Corps. See if they can hold from now on. Hoorah, there we go. Yeah, we definitely made this a fortress. This is where I really want my fortress to be at, because if I can hold this region till the end, that'd be great. Good, the army's finishing up. Perfect. I'd like to build more ships just because I think if I build more, chances are I could possibly not have to deal with being 6th anymore. It might go up higher. I have the 5th greatest military in game. Actually, kind of curious on this. I have about 4 years left in game. France has the strongest military, then Britain, then the American, or then Russia, then the US, and then me. So I have about 1,000-point difference. And it's probably coming down to capital ships. Yes. Yeah, it's primarily capital ships. We are getting the battleships done, though. I'm satisfied with that. Good. 4, 1. Good enough. Good. Remaining battleships will finish shortly. Oh, I went the economy. Probably those Great War capitulations ending, huh? Pretty much. Good. Remaining battleships are getting finished. Good. Oof. Screw the capitalists. They can deal with it. Cannot suffer an economic downturn. Could kill us. Okay, that's the last of those troops finishing, and then pretty much the Africa Corps has been rebuilt. I probably will build one more if I can in time, and I'd like to put an extra one in Yola, just to have an extra army in there. Because we almost did win. We actually could have won. I think an extra 30k could have gave us the victory. At the very least, it would have helped those guys hold for that much longer. And then the real fight would have began. Okay, last battleship's almost finished. It's good. Still ranked 5th. I like to be higher up on the totem pole, but if I can't get up there, I'll deal with it. And I'll probably play this until it finishes out now, because there's no point in trying to do another war or anything else. Our workers. Oh yeah, large. Some of these ships will get done in time. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. Proud of this army. Proud of my workers getting the Navy up and running as well. Build those boys in Benin. And that'll be the last of the Africa Corps. She's been rebuilt. She's ready to fight. Come on, come on. Okay. Officially, the Africa Corps is finished. But we will be building a few more guys into this. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be the last of it. And we'll put them in Yola. Yola will hold. We're good. And the fleet has a couple more ships to finish, and then the cruiser fleet's ready to go as well. All right. Wow. Brigades to mobilize at 592. Wow. I just want this last army to finish you bastards. That way I can look around the map. I just want to say the military's done. Wow, there was a big European war going on. Jeez. Okay, you guys can head to Yola. Alright. So that's it. Africa Corps is done. Navy's got 2 more ships in it. Everything's ready to go. Conservatives won. Overall, I think the game went really well. Mexico's been pushed back to her original territory, but she still owns Washington, surprisingly enough. The population is still growing up there from what I'm seeing. Migrations. How are the migrations looking? I have a little bit of immigrants coming in. Not too many people are coming here to La Plata any longer. Well, even Venezuela's getting a rush. I'm going to actually stay in this mode just to see what goes on. Maybe not. But overall, I think the game went really well. We had a couple setbacks in terms of not securing this territory of Atacama as much as I wanted to. That hurt, yeah, because it took away time from the game to do other stuff. And that's the only thing that was a bit of a regret. Overall, though, I might jump down to speed 3. Overall, though, I think we got most of what we wanted out of this. I mean, I'm rather large and in charge. I would like to have gone back to war with Chile and taken what little bit territory had left. The only thing I could sit there and say that could probably have been a bit of an issue in terms of doing that. The Americans would have came in and probably curb stomped me. This is probably the first time I've seen the U.S. actually become this. Usually they don't do that well. They usually get their asses kicked. Usually by somebody in the AI. Or Mexico usually holds its line long enough to where the Confederacy gains control, the US stays separated, And because of the separation, she can't actually mobilize enough resources and troops to actually fight Mexico. Because it usually has an army over on this side and an army on this side. If the Confederacy doesn't like them, they won't let them move their troops in. If the Indian Confederacy doesn't let them push their troops in, then this side's just separated and it can't fight, which gives Mexico a bit of an edge. Again, I like the fact that Britain was able to annex Canada again, but I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's because I got Caribbean. I don't know. Maybe that offsets it. But I rather actually did enjoy having Canada as a dominion more than or a puppet more than a actual territory I owned, because it gave me like less stuff that I had to focus on. That and defend, especially defend. Trying to think if there's anything. I will say Colombia was a fun war. Ecuador was fun. She still owns the Galapagos. She is currently at a population of 82,000. Is that their capital now? Yeah, there's not enough time to do the conquer. I probably could have did that if I would have did it for 46. Venezuela, I would like to have conquered them, but at the same time, it makes sense that I didn't get them, because I sphered them, and that's kind of how I wanted to leave them, because I was worried that if I ever didn't sphere them, somebody else would, and if somebody else does, then I have to go to fight the war, and chances are it was probably going to be... none of them actually were, surprisingly enough. Union of Portugal and Brazil. I'm very surprised they have their actual capital here, because that actually makes me kind of want to play Portugal. Because if you play Portugal, you might be able to actually conquer Spain, because you have Portuguese, Brazilian Africa. You have that. You have a couple of ports out here in the east. I mean, you can play the colonial game probably, and probably do all right. Raw materials, you'd have access to a range of goods because you own all of Brazil. The only thing you have to be probably mindful of is what I was playing this game is La Plata. Argentina could come in and kick your ass if it wants to, and that's dangerous in of itself. So this is actually kind of a neat nation I would like to play as at some point. Same thing. I'm thinking this time around, I said I want to play in Europe. I'm not playing Prussia and I'm not playing Westphalia. These two, as much as I would like to play as them, every time I've seen this, they have literally been getting curb stomped by the French or from one another, and it usually ends in their defeat. Because I've seen Prussia form Germany and then it just sits there in limbo trying to fight everybody. You got to kind of hope you can conquer all the lands before France or Westphalia. Because I've done it before, and I played Prussia in an off-screen game. Westphalia came in and killed me. Nothing I can do because there's literally nothing I can do. Westphalia, similar issue, but it involved Austria this time. So there's not much I could do in that factor. It was a bit frustrating whenever the war got declared because I wasn't ready for it. And the thing is, both of these countries by themselves, in terms of like early game, don't necessarily have the resources, the industry, and the army to mount an effective defense versus like Prussia and vanilla. In vanilla, Prussia has this whole region. It also has bits and pieces of this. And then it has enough to be able to play the influence game to secure Saxony. After you get Saxony in your sphere and you secure Schleswig-Holstein, bam, you form North German Federation. Suddenly, the game becomes playable. I mean, you could do it as regular Prussia because you also have the population to build a small, effective army that's efficient. But you have to, again, play the waiting game until your population builds. And when the population builds, that's when you sit there and build the soldier army and you just conquer everything. Again, you gotta buy time and kind of play it like that. That is hilarious. You don't own Azerbaijan, but Azerbaijan does exist. That's a common run. So I don't usually see playing as these two countries as effective at this point for me, because I'd probably have to get very lucky for one, and then two, I'd have to play very strategically in how I do it. I'd have to get secure alliances and pray the AI actually accept it. If I was going to play in Europe, two countries I would see myself wanting to play as: Russia because you're already large and in charge, and I'd like to see how Eastern Europe plays, especially if France ever decided wanted to kill me again. But I'd also like to do the Portuguese one because I'd like to get Brazil and then see where I can go after that. Because I could probably secure a fair bit of colonies, especially out here in East Asia. Get the East Asia, get all of Indonesia and the stuff that the Commonwealth doesn't own. It could suddenly become a fun game. Yugoslavia I see form a lot, so I'm assuming they're actually a possible country to keep forming. That actually could be fun too. Probably be a smaller one. I'd have to see how they do it. But otherwise, I think it's a lot of fun. Wallachia and Bessarabia. Wait, is it? Moldavia and Wallachia never formed Romania, so Romania never formed down here. And Polish Commonwealth is still alive, even though it's pretty much been beaten back. Somehow Denmark, Norway exists, but they don't own a portion of Norway. Game's funny. Algeria somehow exists. Morocco still exists. Wolof still exists, even though, wow, I'm surprised they survived. Thought somebody conquered them. Africa is still a bit of a mess, from what I can see. Who the hell owns this? This is Portugal? Wow, Portugal actually took an island. South Georgia. Nobody colonized this, even though probably Dutch or the British Commonwealth could. Zulu survived. Madagascar is under the French. Oman still owns some of its old territory. Naples owns it. I like this portion of Africa I got. This is funny. Ottomans own this region. Spain owns this. Like, I think everybody kind of got a piece of Africa in this. Like, France owned the western section. Sweden's got its little thing off Morocco. The Dutch own the central southern region. Britain owns the central region. Spain owns a portion of it. Naples has a portion of it. Like, everybody pretty much has a piece in the pie for it, or slice of the pie. Ottomans own the northeastern section, besides Suez. Iran is only missing that northwestern section. Otherwise, she'd be pretty powerful too. Somehow, Russia owns Pakistan and what appears to possibly even be Delhi. Where is Delhi? Yeah, where the hell is Delhi? Is Delhi like right through here? Yeah, there's Delhi. So the Mughals still own it, not the Russians. That's kind of funny too. Martha Empire's rather large. I'm surprised at the size she's reached. East Indian Republic's still a thing. Hyderabad survived, even though I don't. Where is it? Okay, it does own Hyderabad. Let's see, I thought it was on this side, but it's like no, it's Bombay. Spain still owns a portion down here. Denmark, Norway lost portions of their south. Burma survived. Siam actually survived. Vietnam survived, even though it looks like she lost Laos. Brunei survived the game. Siak. Several of the Indonesian nations survived. I'm surprised even Johor survived. Usually she always dies. Japan did almost nothing this game. I don't even know what the hell it was doing. Like, it has no colonies. No nothing. Even freaking Korea survived. That's strange. I mean, Russia did take Outer Manchuria. Still a bit of territory here she didn't take. What is Russia in the power plays? Third? She was like 13th at one point, I remember just checking. She was under somebody's sphere. That's very weird. What's her population at? 55 million? So 10 million less than the French. You know, I honestly believe that if I played Russia and I ever had to go to war with France and she moved through the other European countries, I could definitely form a strong line. This wouldn't be that bad to hold. You just have to kind of like figure out where you want to make your line at, and then that's where you hold, and then you just funnel in more reinforcements in the rear until you eventually just beat them back. Now the fleet stuff could get interesting because they'd probably invade through the White Sea, and I could see the Baltic. That's the only other areas I see an invasion occurring from. Don't see them going through Ottoman territory unless they have the alliance, which they would. So you'd have to guard up to here, and then pray they don't go through Iran. China somehow survived. She actually did a lot better this time. Nobody has a treaty port on her. Actually, that actually does shock me. I probably should have been doing that. I didn't even think about going after this. I was only worried about South America. Because I made the assumption somebody was going after him. Like, last game, couple games I played, Russia's went in on him. I went in on him. Is UK. We both took 3 treaty ports apiece. When I played Japan, I think I got a couple treaty ports. I think the Russians came in. And I think last game I thought Russia actually took some actual territory. That might have been Japan game too. So Mongolia survived, Xinjiang survived, Khakan survived. Yeah, a lot of people survived this time. That's a shocker. Huh. Interesting game nonetheless. I always notice Indian Confederacy doesn't get killed either. I don't know why. Like, I would make the assumption the AI would go after them, like the US or something, because they might have actually. Because wait, do they usually own Ohio? Yeah, so they must have gotten hit because they don't have Ohio and the US does. So the US must have went to war with them at some point. Yeah, they did. Okay, so they actually did take some territory. So they took Ohio from them, and that was it. And they didn't go to war again because of the British, I'm assuming. Although the Americans proved that they can kill the British, so I don't know why they didn't. I would have kept pushing for it. I would have secured all this. This would all have been mine. I don't care. Um, yeah, because the U.S. did pretty well this game. I'm glad I was able to kind of trade with them or keep diplomacy with them. Although in terms of like powers, it's like me and the U.S. are pretty much on par with each other. I mean, their population's 34.23. My population is 33.04. The U.S. has double my industry, but in terms of military, they have about 800 more points. Ground army wise, they have 40 more than me. Navy wise, they have 132 of 112. I have a guaranteed 102 ships that will be actually able to fight. And I don't know how many transports they have. Well, actually, no, I should because I have the alliance. So it says they have 132 ships. 779. Yeah, actually, where is most of the U.S. Navy at? It's out in the Pacific somewhere? No. It's not up there. It's not there. Yeah, where the hell is the U.S. Navy? Is it here? No. I don't know where their Navy's at. Because I actually want to see how many ships they have. I'm actually curious on that front. No? Yeah, I don't know where their Navy's at. I was actually kind of curious to know how many transport ships they have in their fleet. But looks like it's nowhere to be found. Huh. Where the hell would they have put it at then? It's not here. It's not there. It's not in. It's not in Europe. I don't know where the hell they would have put their fleet. That's strange. But overall, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. As I said, me and the U.S. pretty much we weren't exactly on par in terms of industrial might. They had double my industry, but in terms of overall size and I would say population, I might be a weaker variant of them. But overall, I think it was a good game because that's why I always say like Argentina used to be similar to that. Like they kind of weren't a powerhouse, but they were like in that middle ground when they first like I think came out as a nation, but then made some mistakes in terms of leadership, and then it just never recovered. So it never got to retain that strength that it used to have. And I think that was something that happened in real life. So it's just political stuff that went on, some economic downturns, and it just lost the strength. Um, but I enjoyed the game. It was fun. I like La Plata. If anybody wants to play as Argentina in this game, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. As I said, I want to do a U.S. run, but I might not. That might be for a future thing since I've already done because I've done Asia, I've done Europe, I've done South America. Now I got to figure out where I want to play next. Russia could be that nice middle ground for I'm in Europe and Asia. Um, Same thing with Portugal since it has colonies. It'd have theoretically colonies in South America, Africa, and Asia and Europe. So theoretically, I could run away and get away with that too. I just don't know who I'd play as. I'm gonna have to think about it. I've been doing a lot of I've been trying to get this game done, so I've kind of Vicky 2'd out. Um, I mean, one game I could go try playing is having a series go into Stellaris for a bit and just kind of playing it. I'll have to think about those. So with that, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We come back, everybody. Probably Mass Effect 2. So I'll see you then. Thanks.